Welcome everybody. My name is Craig Boyte. I'm the EVP of Marketing and PR here at New Frontier Data. What we are going to do today is I'm going to give you just a very brief overview of New Frontier Data, and then we will jump right into the demo. And then at the end, I will give you some contact information if you would like to have any personalized questions answered or maybe a personal demo. So let's jump in. All right, New Frontier Data. We really are the global leader in cannabis and in both business intelligence and reporting. We've been quoted in over 80 countries, and that was just last year. And we had an effective media reach of over 14 billion in 2019, which was just a great year for us. We do analyze millions of data points all the time. We get them from government agencies, private businesses, partnerships. I'll actually show you kind of how and where we collect the data from. And we really leverage all that data into a couple different things, one being reports and also Equio, which is obviously why we're all here, and custom research. So to kind of show you how we collect our data, we really look at 5 different aspects of the cannabis industry. At the federal level, both US and globally. So we usually have partnerships with the government or publicly available data, as well as local governments, from cities all the way up to state levels. And then the industry itself, we have a number of different partners within the industry, and that is people who actually touch the plant, as well as ancillary sectors. So those are businesses that are in the cannabis industry, but don't necessarily touch the plant. So it could be everything from, say, a business that is a web business that just connects consumers with dispensaries, say, or manufacturers of products that are related to cannabis, but not necessarily, well, or that don't touch the plant. So say, for example, just a pipe manufacturer. And then, of course, consumers themselves. We do a number of different, we do a lot of surveys with consumers, both, again, globally and in the United States. And we have a number of partners that we get consumer data from. So like point of sale partners, web services. We have a number of different areas and ways that we get consumer information. And then how we support the industry. So like I mentioned earlier, we do a lot of custom research, and that can be from very small to very large. We do custom work for like something as small as an individual dispensary who may be looking to open in a new area, and they don't know kind of what the price points they should be at or what kind of products they should sell. That is something that we can do all the way up to entire governments. So at the end of last year, we did a big project for Zimbabwe, and that was really looking at what kind of impact would be on their entire economy and the entire country if they were to legalize cannabis. So as you can see, that's a huge breadth of from very small to very large, and we do a lot of custom research. We also do reports. Reports are how we started here at New Frontier Data back at the beginning of 2015. We do reports based on state, country, or region. So from local states all the way up to whole regions. So Europe, Latin America, North America, that kind of thing. And then also by topic. And topic can be everything from consumers to like energy consumption, hemp, CBD. We just put out a European CBD report. So we have dozens and dozens of reports, and actually they're all available within Equio. So I'll show you those when we get to the demo. And then of course, Equio itself. And that is really our technology dashboard that has just thousands of data points all within Equio. So with that, let's jump right in so I can show it to you. Okay, this is Equio. This is the dashboard that you will see right when you log in. And I think the best way to do this is just start at the top and then work my way down. And then we'll go over to the left and I'll show you these things over here on the left navigation. So at the top, this is exactly what it looks like. It is a stock ticker. So these are publicly traded North American cannabis companies. You can click on any one of them and it will show you what the current value is. And this is today, but it will also show you the last 5 days, the last 3 months, and the entire history of the company. Not only can you see it along the ticker up here, but we also have this stock index here, which is basically the same thing. So this is the entire market. So again, today, 5 days, 3 months, and the entire history. But you can also look for various companies in this drop-down menu. You could also search. If you have a specific company that you want to find, you can certainly search for it and it will come up. And again, you can pick any company. It will pull up the today, 5 days, 3 months, and history of their stock and how they've done. It also pulls up any relevant company news. So anything that's happened. So this actually is just from today. So it's obviously you can see very recent, very up to date. And this pulls in, like I said, for any of the companies listed, and you can, again, you can search for them and pull it up and it will tell you what's happening. You can also look at the sector. So in this case, it will pull in the sector. What sector is that company in and what's been happening for that sector? Now, actually, I'm going to jump back over to the dashboard here because you can also look at the sector performance right here. And it's the same thing that we saw on that last page, but this is for all of the sectors. So not just that one company and what sector it's in. So ancillary services, cultivation, agriculture, biotech, hemp and CBD, and Canada. It shows you what's been happening with that sector. We also have leaders and laggers. So that's, what's been happening. Who are the biggest gainers and fallers within cannabis? And then stock news. Now, this is an aggregate of all the latest stock news that's been happening with any cannabis company. But this is a very handy tool if you're somebody who either invests in cannabis or is looking to invest in cannabis. Now, if we move over here, we've got the Zephyr Consumer Index. And this, you can filter by state. I'm in Colorado, so it's defaults to Colorado. But you can also filter by product types: drinks, edibles, flowers, pre-rolls, tinctures, and it will show you within that state who the biggest archetypes of consumers. So in this case, like solo stars, they are people who are in management, healthcare, education, and it shows you how many of these particular archetypes are in the state. So what the male population, female population, dispensaries, adult use dispensaries, medical dispensaries, and then hybrid. And over here, when you filter by product type, it pulls in the pricing. So it's a pricing index. What is the average price? What's the price per gram, per ounce, half gram? So again, this is a very useful tool if you are someone who is in the industry or looking to get in the industry, or just want to be, have up-to-date knowledge on what's happening for both state level and product level. Okay, moving down, we have patient count, patient saturation. These are pretty much exactly what they sound like. Once again, you can filter by state. Oh, I should also just say, real quick, if you have any questions, there is a little Q&A thing that you can see in the Zoom panel. And if you have any questions, feel free to type them in there. I will get to the questions at the end. And like I mentioned at the beginning, I will also put up some contact information for you so that you can reach out individually if you have a question that maybe you don't want to ask publicly, or you just want to have a little more in-depth of a conversation. I'll put that information up at the end. So anyway, sorry about that. Patient count, patient saturation. Once again, you can filter by state and it will pull in the data. And this is really exactly what it sounds like. It's the number of patients up to date and then projected. And those are our projections, so New Frontier data projections. And again, it gives you by state what the saturation level is for that state. Moving over here, we have country profiles. We have right now 4 countries, more will be getting added. And these are really just kind of an overview of the country. My internet connection's being a little slow, so this PDF viewer is might not pull it up. But you can also download them. And like I said, it gives you just a pretty brief overview of that country, what the history of cannabis is in that country, what its current state is. And this is just really something to not only give you an overview, but also save you some time if you're looking for some more information on that country. Moving down, here we have the Cannabis Insight Daily. That is our daily newsletter. If you don't subscribe, I would suggest that you do so. Or if you have an Equio subscription, you can find it right here. And really what this is we pick what we feel are the top 5 cannabis stories of the day. And you can find them for any given day. They're all right here. And you can actually look at our archives. And this goes back to when we started the newsletter, which was years ago, actually. And you can really go back all the way, and it will show you what the top stories are. Yeah, we started in 2017, it looks like. It will show you what those top 5 stories were at any given point in time. So maybe if you are researching the history of cannabis and you want to know what was the big thing happening in November of 2018, for example, and this will pull up all of the top stories that we presented in our newsletter for that day. So fairly handy tool. The interactive data map. This is actually the most popular widget within Equio. And there's a lot of data in here. So there's a lot of layers, and I'll kind of go through them. And some of these are shown in other widgets, but let's just start with the top layer, and that's legalized states. That's exactly what it sounds like. It shows you what states are legal, so both for medical or adult use. And then it will show you, just kind of give you a real brief overview of what sales are, when did they legalize, that kind of thing. You can also look at qualifying conditions for any state, and it will show you, okay, for the medical, obviously that's only on the medical side, but what are the qualifying conditions for medical within that state? Cannibalization. This is something that we actually used to only show at our higher subscription levels. We've now opened this up so everyone can now see this. And it's again, it's exactly what it sounds like, but this is really what cannabis is doing to cannibalize these different areas. So pharmaceuticals, tobacco, and alcohol. Job opportunities. We actually display this data 2 places within Equio. First one is within the map. Which I did mention my internet's being a little slow, so this is not coming out. But oh, there it is. So it's by state, and it will show and pull up. You can also see the same information down here in this lower widget. Again, you can filter by state. So in Colorado, and then if you want to filter by role, so if you're only interested in maybe lab technician, say, it will pull up all the open jobs for being a lab technician, in this case in Colorado. So if you are interested in getting into the cannabis industry, it's a very handy tool. Tax rates, again, it's exactly what it sounds like. Right now, we only have Washington, Oregon, California, and Colorado, but it shows you the tax rate for the state. And actually, if you click in, you can get down to county and even city level. So this can be very handy if you're someone who is either in the industry or looking to get in the industry and open like a dispensary, and you need to know the tax rates. And actually, when it comes to taxes, I'll show you this other widget down here, which is even more handy. And then this last layer within the map is the US investment opportunity ranking. This is something that we put together here at New Frontier Data, and it's just kind of our what we're predicting on what might be a good idea. If you're looking to invest in cannabis, what would be some areas that would have higher potential or lower potential? So, and it goes by state, it goes by opportunity segment, so cultivation, retail, manufacturing, distribution, ancillary services. Okay, moving down, market projections. This is our projections, so New Frontier Data. Obviously, if you're going back in history, that's actuals, but it gives you both medical, recreational, legal, and illicit. And so anything beyond, well, really beyond 2019, because we're just in the beginning of 2020, the rest of this is all our predictions and what we feel how large the markets are going to be. Tax notices. This was that other widget I mentioned when it comes to taxes. If you are someone who is either looking to open or looking to get in the business, or you are in the business and you need to know about what kind of tax legislation has either passed recently or is potentially going to pass, this really pulls it all in. So it's all in one place. You can filter by state, and it will show you not only any changes that's happened recently, but it can also show you if there's any upcoming, like say the city government is planning on having a vote in a week to raise taxes. It would show up here for you. So that's very handy if you're in the industry. All right. So now we're going to move over to the left navigation. Reports and charts. Like I mentioned earlier in the New Frontier Data overview, this is how we started. We started by doing reports, and all of our reports are available right here within Equio. And honestly, almost all of our reports are included in an Equio subscription. So you get access to almost all of our reports. I'd say it's 90+ % of all of our reports. Like this one, we just put this out in December, the EU CBD consumer report. This was our latest report. It came out at the very end of the year. For any of these reports, you can click on it. A PDF viewer will come up. You can view it in this viewer if you have a better internet connection than I do. Or you can just download it, and it is exactly what it sounds like. It's a PDF, so then you can read it at your leisure, however you would like, on your phone, carry it around. You can print it out, do whatever you would like with it. So again, this has almost every single report we've done. As you can see, there's tons and tons of pages of them. You can search if there's a particular topic you want to search for. So say hemp or CBD or consumer. You can search by keyword. You can also find individual reports. So as you can see, there are a lot of reports in here. And it really covers everything from specific areas, like here's cannabis in Zimbabwe. This is another one we did at the end of the year, to consumer insights, CBD, hemp, retail. There are so many topics in here that it can be a little overwhelming. So if you would like to sort of save some time and you don't have time to read, 50 reports that are all between 50 and 100 pages, there are these what we have that we're calling interactive reports. And this is basically a overview of any given report. It will show you, we have these videos that are really just a 1 minute, real quick overview, gives you one stat from it. But also you have report summaries in here. You can also see the key findings. So this is a really good way to, like I mentioned, there are so many reports and a lot of them are so big and in depth, it can be overwhelming to kind of figure out how and which reports you want to read. So this is a great way to just, all right, here's the key findings. Okay, well, this seems like something I'm very interested in. Then you can go back over to reports, download the whole thing, and read the whole thing. Reports library, that's basically the same as my reports. But if you do have, yeah. And then finally here we have charts. And this is every chart that we've ever put in any report. So as you can imagine, there are hundreds and hundreds of charts in here. These are extremely useful if you're someone putting together, say, a presentation and you need some data to back up whatever you're trying to pitch or whatever research you're trying to show. We've got them all formatted for you. Within any given one, you have the chart. You can also download it. Now, depending on the level of subscription you have to Equio, at the base level, you can just see the reports or the charts, I'm sorry. But at the higher subscription levels, you actually have full usage rights. So you can use those in public presentations, whatever you would like to do. And again, you can search by report or you can search by keyword. So if there's, like if you're only interested in stock, it will pull up anything that has to do with stocks that we've ever had in a report. And again, like I mentioned, there are hundreds and hundreds of reports or charts here. Now I see that I've been going a little slow, so I'm gonna have to pick up the pace because we don't have that much time left. The data marketplace. This is a new feature that we've just recently added. We added it in fourth quarter last year. And this is exactly what it seems like. This is the data, the raw data that we've used for all of our reports. So it really shows you, so like this one, consumer trends, alcohol, cannabis versus alcohol. This data set contains survey data from, we did a huge survey with over 3,000 people, and it really compares the preferences of cannabis and alcohol by state, by market type, by age, by race, by gender. These raw data sets obviously aren't for everybody, but if you are, say, a researcher and you really want to get to the raw data, this is the place to go. I believe this is the only thing like this in the industry. So this can be a huge time saver, and also very valuable if you are somebody looking to do research, or get in the industry and you really want a lot of data. You can also filter by region, so US, Canada, Latin America, etc. By market segment, so adult use, medical use, or hemp. Time period, so it goes back, our data sets go back to 2012. Obviously, if you're going up through 2025, that is a projection, but still, a lot of people are interested in projections. And then even by individual report. So if you only want to know, see the data from, say, a hemp, the state rankings, it will pull up all the data sets from that report. Okay, moving down. Like I said, I'm going to have to pick up the pace a little bit. We only have a few minutes left. So these three, investing, researching, and operating, this is basically taking what we saw on the dashboard and just displaying it a little differently. This is the data that we feel, if you're an investor, would be of interest to you. And same goes for researching and operating. The reference library does have some information that we did not see on the homepage dashboard. Canna clips, these are, like I mentioned in the report section, these are little 1-minute videos that we have that describe a lot of our reports. It gives you just a brief overview. Here are webinars. We do at least one webinar a quarter. Many years we do a lot more than that. This is an archive of all the webinars that we give. Presentations, this is exactly what it sounds like. We do a lot of speaking throughout the country and really throughout the world. And a lot of times people come up and say, hey, I would love to have that presentation that you just gave. Well, this is where to find all of those. And then the Cannabit. So I did show you the Insight Daily archives, which is here. The Cannabit is our weekly newsletter. And this is just an archive of all of the Cannabits. It's a bit of cannabis information, hence the name Cannabit. We put it out every Sunday. If you're not a subscriber, I would recommend doing it. It is a very popular newsletter. We have over 55,000 subscribers, and that data is always proprietary data with our thoughts on the data and the topic. So it's very valuable if you're either in the industry or just want to know more about the industry. It's a free newsletter, so you don't have to pay. But you can also find the entire archives right here. Okay, we only have a couple minutes left. So what I'm going to do, it looks like there are no questions, so that's good. But if you do have questions, and at this point, I don't really know if I'm gonna have time to get to any, but here's Spencer's information. Feel free to reach out to him if you have questions, or if you would like a personalized demo. He'd be happy to talk to you one-on-one and give you a demo. He can go slower than I just did. If there's a specific area within Equio you would like to learn more about, you can just dive in and get deep into the information that's located in that area. And like I said, he can answer any questions that you may have. Thank you all for joining. I hope you enjoyed this. We do it every first Thursday of the month. So although this month was a little weird because our office was closed last week. That's why we're doing it today instead of last week. But from here out, it will always be the first Thursday of the month, always at the same time, unless we have a webinar scheduled, but we'll give plenty of notice if that's the case. Thanks for joining.